Okay, so reasoning longer. How thinking works in GPT-5. Have you ever watched ChatGPT pause before answering, showing a little thinking indicator and wondered what's actually happening in there? Is it just loading? Is it actually thinking? And why does it take sometimes 5 seconds and other times takes 30? Understanding what happens during this pause is the key to getting dramatically better results from GPT-5's most powerful mode. Now, thinking mode isn't just slower ChatGPT. It is a fundamentally different way the model processes your request. And when you understand how it works, you can structure your prompts to take full advantage of it and get answers that would be impossible from instant responses. So in this lecture, I will show you exactly what happens during that thinking pause, the chain of thought process, the different thinking time levels, and practical techniques to get the most out of deep reasoning. And this is where GPT-5 really shines. So let's pull back the curtain on what happens when GPT-5 enters thinking mode. The process happens in two phases. Phase 1 is internal reasoning. First, GPT-5 spends time constructing a structured plan internally. Now, it is not generating text for you yet. It is building a mental map of the problem. During this phase, it breaks your complex prompt into smaller, manageable parts. It analyzes relationships between those parts. It identifies dependencies, what needs to be figured out first before it can answer the rest. For math or coding problems, it maps out the logical steps. For analysis tasks, it considers multiple angles. And this is called chain of thought reasoning. The model is essentially showing its work to itself, generating intermediate steps to ensure the final answer is logical and accurate. Now, once the internal reasoning is complete, GPT-5 converts the structured plan into readable output. It validates coherence and consistency as it writes. The final response reflects that deeper analysis and not just pattern matching. This two-phase process is why thinking mode takes longer. And it's not just processing, it is actually reasoning. So, here is something powerful. You can actually watch some of this reasoning happen. Now, when ChatGPT 5 uses thinking mode, you will see a slimmed down view of this chain of thought appear in the interface. It shows you the key steps it is working through: definitions, calculations, considerations. Now, this isn't the full internal reasoning that stays hidden, but it's enough to see how the model is approaching your problem. It's like watching an expert think out loud. And here is a practical tip. If you see the chain of thought going in the wrong direction, you can click answer now to interrupt it and either rephrase your question or get a faster response. You're not logged in once thinking starts. Now, not all thinking is the same depth. GPT 5.2 introduced thinking time controls that let you adjust how long the model reasons. And there are four levels. Light, the quickest reasoning, still applies some step by step logic but prioritizes speed. Good for moderately complex questions where you don't need deep analysis. Standard, the new default, balances speed and intelligence for most complex tasks. This is the sweet spot. Extended, more time for deeper, more comprehensive responses. Use this when the stakes are higher or the question is genuinely difficult. Heavy, the maximum reasoning depth, available to pro users for the most challenging problems where you need the model to really think it through. These levels are available in the thinking time toggle in the message composer. Your preference is saved until you change it. And here is how to choose. Start with standard. If the answer feels shallow or misses nuance, bump up to extended. Reserve heavy for genuinely hard problems, research grade analysis, complex debug, or high stake decisions. Now let's talk about the actual performance difference because it is significant. According to OpenAI's benchmarks, Thinking mode achieves human expert level performance on about 71% of professional knowledge work tasks. That is measured against actual industry professionals across 44 different occupations. Finance, law, the error reduction is dramatic. Thinking mode produces about 22% fewer major errors than instant responses. On expert level questions, accuracy jumps from around 6% to nearly 25%. On hallucinations, making things up, hallucinations than previous reasoning models on long form content. And here is the efficiency part. GPT-5 with thinking achieves better results than the previous O3 model while using 50 to 80% fewer tokens. It's not just smarter, it is more efficient at being smart. Now, let me give you a practical technique to maximize thinking mode results. Technique number one, structure your prompts for multi-step reasoning. Don't just ask a question. Frame it as a process. So instead of help me design a database schema, try I need to design a database schema. First, identify all the entities involved, then map the relationships between them. Next, normalize the structure, and finally, optimize for my most common queries. Now, when you signal that you want staged thinking, thinking mode shines brightest. Technique number two, ask for the reasoning, not just the answer. Add phrases like walk me through your reasoning or explain your approach step by step. This encourages the model to externalize more of its chain of thought, which often produces more thorough and accurate answers. Technique number three, request verification. Ask the model to check its own work. Now, after your analysis, verify your conclusions or list any assumptions you made and whether they could be wrong. Now, thinking mode is much better at self-correction than instant responses. And technique number four, use explicit signals. Remember the router pays attention to your language. Phrase like think carefully, analyze thoroughly, or reason step by step trigger deeper processing even in auto mode. Now, when not to use thinking mode. So thinking mode is not always better. For simple factual questions, what is the capital of France? You don't need deep reasoning. You'll just wait longer for the same answer. For brainstorming or creative exploration, instant responses often feel more natural and fluid. The back and forth of quick exchanges works better than waiting for deep analysis. For casual conversation, thinking can feel unnecessarily heavy. It is optimized for problems, not chat. And the rule of thumb, use thinking mode when accuracy matters more than speed. Use fast mode when you need flow and don't need deep analysis. So here is what to remember. Thinking mode is not just slower. It is genuinely different. It reasons in steps, builds internal plans, and validates its logic before responding. The result is dramatically better accuracy on complex problems. So structure your prompts for multi-step thinking, ask for reasoning, and use explicit signals to get the most out of it. And save it for when depth matters. And here's a challenge. Take a complex question you have been wondering about, something with multiple parts or requiring analysis, and ask it in the thinking mode. Watch the chain of thought unfold. See how the model breaks down the problem. Compare the answer, what you would get from a quick response. That experience will cement everything we covered today. Now, that you understand how thinking mode works, let's talk about the practical concern, accuracy. Even with deep reasoning, ChatGPT can still make mistakes. And in the next lecture, I'll show you how to maximize accuracy and avoid common pitfalls so you can trust your results. See you there.